they're outlined. They're subject to change, of course. I was talking about Brian, Diane, and how we were going to do a Vanguard review, but he was a little under the virus weather.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So he will come to the next full meeting, which is when, Diane? Is that May?
I already spoke with Tucker Murphy, and we're going to have Brian come for the April 5th meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll talk about performance. You know, we're not going to be disappointed because it's been good, but we do have some questions to answer about that. You know, whether we want to talk about the discount rate. I got a couple of things that we left last year, and we'll see if you still want to pursue it. Well, let's approve the meeting schedule first. I think we need to do that. So, all in favor of can I have a motion to approve the meeting? And second.
So moved.
Oh, Tuesday. Yeah,
Okay.
I can make, yeah, approve.
Yeah.
Okay, so meeting schedule is approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Although
Thank
it is
you.
a little unique this year, right? I mean, I'm totally fine with these dates. I can make them, but we have 3 months right in a row. Bang, bang, bang. We hadn't previously done that. But
I anticipate we will have maybe only one meeting then, and we'll be canceling.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
so
better
we're just
that we
keeping it
just put,
flexible.
Yeah,
correct.
we've got them on there.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, so we got that approved. In
Yep.
terms of performance, like we said, we'll have that follow-up meeting coming up with the full Board of Finance. And then there were a couple of things we left last year. I wanted to just poll you guys on whether we wanted to talk about the discount rate. You know, we had just some people argue now the environment's changed and maybe we should look, is inflation a different rate? I don't know. You know, our numbers baked in for the year coming up, but this is looking longer term. So Diane, you showed me some numbers where a quarter to a half point change in the discount rate equaled how many dollars?
About $550,000 for 1 quarter. So if we went from like 6 3/4, which we're currently at, and we go down to 6 1/2, we would probably add $550,000 to what that actuarially determined contribution should be.
So I say yikes to that. That's a lot of money, you know?
Yeah.
So whether where are we now? Probably in the middle of the peer group.
Yes, but there's some other peers around us that are dropping a little bit lower, particularly in Fairfield County, because we have these towns around us have better funded plans. It could be something where maybe we only go down 1/8 as a means of just showing that we're making efforts, we're making attempts, but I wouldn't make.
Why would we have to go down at all? I'm trying to understand, refresh my memory. Why would we have to go down at all? 1/8, 1/4? Why is there an impetus to even look at that?
Well, the trend, we don't have to go down anything, but the trend is going, we used to be more of a conservative outlier. And I think, Diane, we're moving to the middle of the pack. And is that a good place to be? If you're the most conservative, do you want to get even more aggressive? However, are you now concerned because inflation might drive a rate a different way? You know.
Yeah, I'm thinking of inflation being 6.8%, I think, this past year, that there's a justification that inflation is higher than we expected, and that the discount rate moving it down may not make sense.
Yeah,
it would be good to get some refreshed comparative data. I think the format, if I'm picturing it in my mind, accurately, Diane, you had some really helpful stuff about where we sat relative to peer group towns. It'd be helpful to get that refreshed to see if, again, the trend of us continuing to move within that group from the most conservative, perhaps middle pack, or maybe even further, be helpful to see where that dynamic actually finds us this year. But look, I agree. There's nothing that would compel us to do so. And in fact, I think our overall funded status would suggest that if there is any pressure to move, there would be, relatively speaking, less pressure on a town like us, given where our funding levels are, than there might be in your average town.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I think that one's gonna come back. We'll discuss that one. We'll
Yeah.
get some more, all that. The other one was alternative investments, which Michael was your thing. If you, we left it hanging, but, okay. So,
I just
Again-
think they should look at that. They should just give us their thoughts on that, you know?
yeah,
Something, because a lot of companies are looking at that to balance their portfolio, and we should at least be responsible enough to have them review that with us, and then we can decide yay or nay, right?
yeah, the question, I don't think we're active investors like a lot of companies that do that are. But, and the products are dynamic, they're complicated, but so I'm not sure about, I don't know, Diane, actually, what percentage of municipalities would ever go into that? Certainly colleges, 501c3s, hospitals, they do it, universities, but I don't know about just good old municipalities. So we can do some research on that.
You know, I would say, Neil, it probably, I think I continue to be a big supporter of the initial thought, as I remember Michael bringing it up, which is, and I'm not putting words in his mouth, but it's some version of every year where we decide, okay, we're going to stay the course and do what we're doing. We need to assess what are the opportunity costs of us not doing what else is out there. So it doesn't necessarily make us half pregnant to at least learn about it and figure out what else is out there.
Right.
All the while in the right context of, are any other municipalities doing this because of the inherent risks that come with these things? But it would be, I think, very helpful to know. It would just make our decision-making that much more informed.
Did you watch the tape of the last meeting, just before this meeting, and watch and remember what I said, or you just have photographic memory?
I just remember you bringing it up, and I was thinking to myself, this happens all the time when you say to yourself, oh, okay, I'm going to go on vacation and I'm going to spend X on a hotel. And then when you add up all the nights and you look at that number and you say, well, for that number, what else could I do? Right.
Right.
Well, this seems like, oh my God, right? I could just, I don't know, go out and buy an Italian sports car or something. But
or have a V8.
Right. There you go. But anyway, so I think it would be a great idea. And again, there's no saying that, oh, hey, this is great. Let's jump in. We'll put half our money there. But I think it does over time. I mean, at some point, there was a hospital or a university or a pension fund that was a little skittish and saying, well, what's everybody doing and what else is out there? And maybe there is room for that. And so, I don't suspect we're going to find ourselves feeling the pressure to do something like that. But again, I think it just informs the process over time. And it's a good discipline for us. It's a good check.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so Diane, we'll get them to talk about that a little bit too.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's all I had, unless you guys have something, you can feel free to put things on during the year too, but
Yeah.
just in terms of some of the things we're starting from, the performance will be, key.
Yeah.
And we'll have that coming soon. What else, Dan?
No, that's it. You summed it up great. I mean, I think any decision certainly on the discount rate is probably 6 months from now, because we really only need to look at it when we're going to talk with the actuary who's going to do the next valuation. As for the alternative investments, Brian did send us some information, which I passed along, and we can have him just review that all and clean it up and update it for April, because we may want to make some changes. And on top of that, I will go find out what some of the other towns are doing, and more of them are a lot more active than New Canaan is in terms of their portfolio. So
I think that's a great thing, Diane. You can find out they invest in commodities like gold or other things, besides just purely bonds and domestic and international stock. Like that was the old portfolio, but but people are saying it might not be very balanced these days with interest rates at one point so low and stocks so high that they both could collapse if there's huge inflation, right? And so are we actually, have we reduced our risk, or do we need to put other things in the portfolio? I'm not saying we should, but I'm just saying the old way of thinking may not be the right way. And we should see what other municipalities are doing and they're forward thinking about what is the right portfolio for a conservative municipality. And what we thought was conservative 20 years ago may not be conservative today. It might be very risky to have it just in equity and bonds.
Yeah. The thing I'm wrestling with is liquidity, which municipalities really don't have much of. And this product not being particularly liquid, but there might be solutions for that, different structures,
Yeah.
you know.
No, but I'm just talking about like a gold ETF, which is very liquid, right? Should we have a gold ETF to hedge against inflation? I
Yeah,
do, as an example. If there's inflation,
Good thought.
you know, right?
Yeah.
And that's very liquid,
yeah, that's a good,
right?
okay.
As an
Okay, good.
example.
We'll have some fun talking about that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like everything else, the communications are going to be key because we don't want to alarm people into thinking that we're jumping in, you know, to something.
Right, right.
We're just trying to get reports on this stuff so that we can
Exactly.
just be aware.
Right.
One other thing is just, Diane, if you think about it for the April meeting, if you can get a little bit of a preview on the reporting and the slides and whatnot, you know, we might need a little bit more time in advance of the presentation to the larger group. You know, just let us know. You know, I don't know that we will, but I'm just, you can imagine that, you know, if he's going to go out there and he's going to, you know, raise some issue or whatever, I mean, like, I think the performance is going to be key, but if there's anything else you need and we don't think we have enough time, just let us know, or we can get on the
Yeah,
phone.
you know, it's a good point because I hate how we squeeze in this meeting.
Yeah,
And the other meeting comes right up, you know, right behind us. And these are, you could talk about these things for a while, you know. I mean, do you think we should have our meeting separately?
well,
You know.
let's see what, if he can get it to us ahead of time, maybe we could all just undertake to take a look at it, and then we can assess whether or not we need to meet and chat about any one or more aspects of it. You know, who knows? It's kind of more just being on the safe side, but it might be better than just, you know, trying to get 35 minutes in ahead of when, you know, they're going to present in front of the larger board.
Yeah.
Just because, again, you know, he presents to the board and we might make some suggestions on how to bring things up and present them and get them packaged in the right context, or, you know, whatever we might be advocating. But
yeah,
I mean, they do a good job. Most of the time these things go off and it's no problem. I know sometimes we felt a little pressured for time.
yeah, yeah, that's good. All right, I think that we are done. Diane, unless you have any. Okay, so
No,
emotion.
I think that's good. I know what the takeaways are. I will, you know, follow up and give you all like
Good.
a summary, but then there'll be the formal minutes. And I'll make sure that we have something a week before the April 5th meeting from Brian
I think that's
Yeah.
great.
that everybody
that'd
can
be helpful.
review, and maybe we can exchange questions and answers as a group.
That
Yeah.
sounds
Great.
good.
That's good. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah.
Adjourn.
All right.
Thanks
you.
all. Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you all. Have a
Bye
good
now.
rest of the night.
Bye.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon.